And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. With me, I have Charlie with me. Say hello to everybody, Charlie.
Hello.
And I also have Vernon with me. Say hello to everybody.
What's up, everyone?
And I have LaDaisia with me. Say hello to everybody.
Hey.
And tonight, we're actually reviewing season 1, episode 4 of Hawkeye. And this episode is actually called Partners, Am I Right? And all I gotta say is there's a whole lot of wrong with this episode. But okay, so here's the thing. What did you guys think about episode 3? Because you guys weren't here. I want to get your all's opinions first on that, and then we'll get into episode 4. But it doesn't matter who goes first. It's up to you guys.
Well, I mean, I think like I was saying, episode 3 blended in with episode 4 to the point where I couldn't even figure out where one started and where one ended. I did like the backstory of, I think it was Maya. That was interesting. I'm like, they should make a movie about that. Why don't they make a whole TV series about,
They are.
Oh, okay. Because,
yeah. Let me look that up.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, she's deaf and she has all these mad skills and, her dad died. I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then it got back in the present and it just dragged. I mean, we're having a fight at a fun house, toy factory, warehouse. I don't know. It just seemed kind of stupid. And then when he lost his hearing aid, I'm like, can we say cut on this? Because the man done lost his hearing aid and now he got.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, So then they find their way out of that and they ended up getting in the car and being chased. And she got all these arrows and, and the LARPing people are back. And I don't know. Honestly, I went back to my phone. I'm like, Lord, the LARPing people are back.
Okay. What about you, Vernon?
I agree with LaDasia. I mean, it was so bad that I had to remember it through, somebody else telling it. Like, I had to oh, yeah, they were on the bridge. So there are so many, film errors. You can tell they shot this super early in the morning. I was like, there's no way traffic is this light in New York City. But, I mean, it's a lot of bad. The CGI it's not believable. The trick arrows, you're on a bridge. It was so cheesy that you wanted it to end. The only silver lining was literally the backstory, and now you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then you kind of get the, this new. You're not sure if she's a villain, she's an anti-hero, she's a hero, but there's an interest that starts sparking. You're like, okay, so this is where we're going. But then when you shift into episode 4, it's like you take away all that momentum, and we're back to square one. It was the Chicago Bears season. It's just not going to make the playoffs. It's a terrible display of artistic value. And honestly, I just can't wait for this series to end and a real hero can actually come about.
You didn't like the Play-Doh arrows?
Not Hank Pym's arrow. The giant, that was a callback to Ant-Man. That was the one on the bridge. I thought the and then everything that was shown in the 3rd episode was actually from the comics. So the tracksuit people, they were villains of Kate Bishop and Hawkeye in the comics. So they're real. They're not fake villains. They're actual real villains in the comics. And that whole chase sequence was actually from the comics. I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, I think the series is I don't know what to get out of it, to be honest.
It feels like an adult version of Home Alone. It's like his family has left him somewhere.
Right.
It's like his family left him in New York, and him and this girl are just running around with hijinks.
Well, let me get into this real quick. So this is what I've been doing with some of the shows and stuff like that. I've been giving a little bit of synopsis of the episode and going from there. But basically, Clint, this is actually where it leaves off at, where Clint and Kate
Kate.
are face to face with their parents, with Jack, and also Kate's mother. And
Eleanor.
basically, this is where I feel like it's forced, this episode. And I liked everything with episode 3 because of Maya. I also like the stuff in the KB toy store thing and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting. Him losing his hearing aid showed me the vulnerability of Clint, and also too how it's related over to Maya. So therefore, that's why I cared so much about that scene, because Clint relies on technology versus Maya, who doesn't go ahead and, she doesn't rely on technology. Relies on facial structures, also to body movements and stuff like that. So that's why I like that. Now with this is, like I said, it feels forced. Clint is face to face with Kate's mother and father, and basically you have the mother who is Eleanor threatening Clint not to get her daughter involved in whatever he's getting himself involved with, but actually her daughter is the one that got him involved in the first place. It wasn't Clint and everything. But also too, you also have the fact that you have Kate, who got into archery, who trained as a black belt, and all that stuff because of Clint. And that was his whole entire MO, was the fact that she was passionate about archery and things like that because of Clint. And then you have this one other thing that happens where, as they're waiting for the elevator in their suite, that's when, of course, Eleanor winds up threatening Clint even more. He winds up, and also too, this is how much of a ball bag she is, because of the fact that she winds up saying this to him. She said, Natasha's dead because of you, basically. It is your fault. And putting fault on Clint when she doesn't even know what actually happened. She said Natasha sacrificed herself to save the world with the blimp. If it wasn't for Natasha sacrificing herself, Kate wouldn't probably be around. I'm just using the example if the blimp took her or whatever. None of their friends and family would have been around. And everything. And you're forcing blame onto Clint, which I think you shouldn't be doing in the first place. And I'm like, you are such a witch. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I just can't stand that. Eleanor did
I
that.
really
And then, of
can't
course,
stand. Yeah, I can't stand her. She's just full of it. And it's clear she's kind of jealous of her daughter. She got this dude who clearly is up to something, and you supposed to own a security firm, and you can't tell this dude is a hustler. I mean, he looks like it, he acts like it. He bring these crazy weapons in your house. And I mean, it's clear he's plotting to marry you for your money. And it's like you worried about Clint with your daughter. I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, she is full of crap. But that whole scene with Clint being there with Kate, it felt like a date, but he's a married guy. And when they go on where she visits him in the house for Christmas, I was like, y'all acting like y'all married or something. I mean,
let me
it's
get into
so
that.
dated. I mean, it just felt off, you know.
Right. And let me just touch on this for one little thing, and then I'll let Vernon get his thoughts, and I'll also get your thoughts again, and Charlie, and so forth. But here's the thing. Another thing that he tells Eleanor was this. Oh, I promised you that that's not going to happen. Wink. Basically, because of the fact that we know they're going to be working together and everything. And he's just saying that he's going to do it whenever he's not going to do it. And it puts them at the fact that Kate showing back at the house, at the safe house again and everything. And I look at it this way. I look at it as like a father-daughter kind of bonding type of thing. I don't look at it as the relationship kind of thing, because Eleanor basically caught them sneaking into their house. So I don't really feel like there's a relationship there. I look at it as Clint looking at him as his daughter in that kind of aspect. But that's just me looking at it. But going ahead, but I'll let you guys go on ahead and talk about this even more.
No, I think you're absolutely right. The relationship dynamics are hard to follow because when Kate gets introduced to Hawkeye, it's, I looked up to you, mentor, me, mentee, intern, type vibe. Then it's like potential, sidekick that it evolves into. And then with episode 4, the writers flirted with the potential of a love interest, because both are adults. You see, at home, Clint's banged up, and it's like they wrote it to see did it have legs, right? And then when they realized, oh, Clint's married, this might, like there was a moral repercussion. All of a sudden they pulled back on it, but I felt like they forgot to delete that paragraph. And it was like, well, what do we do with this scene? And it was like, well, it's here now, So instead of creating that for Kate, or just, because the reality is, and this is the confusing part with Hawkeye's character, you don't see Hawkeye as a good family guy. You see Hawkeye as, always gone, always, fighting crime, and his closest friend was Black Widow, right? And even though Black Widow, they create a love interest between Black Widow and Bruce Banner, but there's like this weird friend vibe kind of with, like it's just never to me flushed out. And I feel like they're setting it up again with Kate. So I don't know. It's hard to follow and it's easy to forget. And that's two problems you can't have when it comes to anything. You can't be hard for me to figure out and then easy for me to say, oh, what's on next? Right. So that's to me the biggest hurdle for Hawkeye.
I wasn't picking up on that, and I don't really care about that. Like if it seemed like that, I'm more like, again, I don't like the actress that plays the mom. She just plays a bitch in everything she does. Like that's what it seems like. She's always that really and she's always up to something. And that phone call she did is like, hey, this is Eleanor. We need to talk. It's urgent. I think, and she's like, some either theory is she knows Wilson Fisk, or she knows Val from like the one that's set up, like the one that told Yelena, oh yeah, Hawkeye killed your brother. Because how the heck does Eleanor know what happened in the Soul Island or the Soul Place? How does she know that Black Widow is dead because of Hawkeye? How does she know that? Yeah, I'm like, she's not that great a security firm.
She's making up assumptions.
No, yeah. but I don't think so. I think she knew. I think she knew straight up, because why she called the person? Because I think it's Val she called, because how does Yelena end up at the location where Hawkeye is? How does that know? I mean, again, I know Yelena's probably really good at her job, and Val is too, but Val probably has connections, and I think Eleanor is deep into this. Like she's playing the oblivious one. I really think she's in on this. Like, I really think she knows. I think because, like, how does Hawkeye know? Or not? How does Eleanor know that? Hawkeye just showed up at the house, because she did, and that's why she immediately phone called somebody. I think it's Val, and that's why. And then I think that's what led Val to send Yelena to the location, because Yelena is now involved in this. So again, I think Eleanor is not. There's a lot of secrets that she's not telling, even though she was having the bullshit. Oh, we need to tell everybody everything. Like in that creepy little situation with the mom and the stepdad, and about the dancing and stuff. We need less of the parents, and we need more of the Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, like whatever they're gonna do. But Eleanor knows something, and I think because like the fact that she told Hawkeye, Black Widow's dead because of you. How did she know that? Because somebody told her, and she's just trying to play dumb. So Eleanor's not so innocent. Like, she's deep into this. Either she knows Fisk. I'm leaning towards she knows Val, and that's how Yelena shows up. Again, and then again, I don't know what to think of this episode. It was fine. I mean, I watched it. I liked it better than episode 2. And then I like because it's quick. It's like quicker than Thanos' snap. I mean, that's like that. But the big episode I'm looking forward to is this next one because the director's teasing that this is the 5th episode is going to blow up Twitter, which means I think we're getting a big reveal in the next episode. Well, it's also because we're getting leaned into Spider-Man, which comes out next week anyway. But I think it's going to be Fisk. I think we're going to see Fisk's face because obviously the director say, and then more Yelena because Yelena's big involved in this, but Twitter's going to blow up, and I think it's going to be Fisk or Daredevil or one of them too because, and I think the Hawkeye's wife too. I think she's going to be his. Of course, it's Hawkeye's like wife, but I think she's kind of I think I forgot the link I sent. I think the name, but she's
like, yeah, she's like Oracle. She's probably gonna be like, I mean, similar to me in my mind, like Oracle. Like she will be the one to help Hawkeye and probably Kate.
Mockingbird. That's what it was.
Mockingbird. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she's something because she is not just a wife. She seems like she's a spy.
Yeah, she knows a lot of stuff, and I like the actress that plays the wife.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's great, and I think she's perfect for that because she's the one that's helping him, like all the information that Hawkeye is able to get. Oh, Jack is and he's like, I like the moment in the taxi when Hawkeye like admitted, "You're right, you're onto something, kid. You got good instincts," about Jack being full of crap.
Well, I like the wife back when which was it? Captain America, the one where they were on the run and they had to go to her house.
I think that was Age of Ultron. That was the one where
Age of Ultron.
That's where that puts the force in the relationship between Hulk and Black Widow. That was that movie.
Yeah, but I liked it. I liked her there. She seemed like she was the level one. Everybody is freaking out. Captain America mad. I mean, stuff is going on, and she's kind of like, "You want pancakes? Like, don't be messing up my house."
He's busy killing Groot because he's ripping the tree bark when Captain America is like he's cutting wood. He's killing Groot.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more of her because I like the chemistry between her and Hawkeye, the wife.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do like their chemistry. They seem like they bounce.
I like the family dynamic with that. I said I like the family dynamic with that.
Me too. I like the family dynamic. I'm with Vernon. I really wish they had just gotten Hawkeye and Black Widow together. With the first Avengers, I really thought they were together. It seemed like they had a scene where they were about to get together, and then it just pulled apart and all of this. Because
in Age of Ultron, he has a family all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Now all of a sudden he has a family, but in the first Avengers, I like the chemistry between him and Black Widow, and I wish they had just kept going with it because that thing with Bruce Banner, that was just DOA. I was like, I'm not even going to entertain this.
Hey, big guy, sun's getting kind of low. I just loved in Deadpool 2 when Deadpool tried doing that to Juggernaut. He's on top of Juggernaut and he's like, hey big guy, sun's getting kind of low, and then Juggernaut just chucks Deadpool. Like there's so much like jokes he did about the Avengers.
Yeah, he did.
But then again, Josh Whedon did to himself. Like Josh Whedon just need to get off the face of the earth after that second Avengers, and then he decided to screw up the Justice League.
Well. He DC problem.
Let's see here. Then I want to. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You got it.
No, you're good, John.
Okay. So then we have another thing that happens where Clint discovers Deanna Quince is the CEO of Soul Unlimited, a shell corporation that launders money for the truck suit mafia. And while Bishop deduces that Barton was Ronin. Now this is the scene that I like, that I thought has some redeeming qualities about it, is a confrontation with Clint and Kazi, to be honest with you. I like that because remember, Kazi was trying to explain to Echo, which is Maya, look, you need to stop acting on your own intentions and everything, because of the fact I get the fact that you want revenge on Ronan, but at the same time, you're also endangering our crew. And if you don't, you're going to get yourself killed and our crew killed. And your dad had his best intentions for us. And this one, you see Clint in the back seat of the car. And he has Kazi's gun. And Kazi's looking for it. Then he starts looking for the knife. He took Kazi's knife. So I like that. And then he explains to him, look, you got to do something about Maya, because Maya's going to wind up getting your crew killed. And I know you have a history with Maya, but she needs to check herself and everything before she endangers somebody else. And also, too, with your ranking, you could wind up losing your ranking. And then I liked how Kazi says this. He goes, why do you care so much about my ranking? He goes, I don't care about your ranking. I could give two shits about your ranking, pretty much. All I care about is the fact that she's going to get people killed. Innocent people killed, also people of your crew killed. And everything, too. For what? Vengeance on Ronan. You need to let that die. Otherwise, she's going to wind up getting people killed. And to me, I thought that was a good heart-to-heart moment with Kazi. Clint goes on ahead, throws the gun out, and tears that part. And to me, that was the redeeming quality of it. I really like that. The apartment in the safe house, as a matter of fact, that's why I even skipped it, because I didn't even like the whole entire thing where they're having a Christmas marathon. And even Clint was like, I want to have this with my kids. I don't want to have this with you, basically. And also, too, teaching her how to turn the TV off with the coin or whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't care about this, so that's why I skipped right on to this. But, you know.
All right, I'll easily defend that part, but go on.
But the Kazi part, to me, was redeeming of this episode.
My favorite part was, and I can't remember if it was 3 or 4, but the one where Kate actually has to write down what his son is saying.
Yeah,
that was the 3rd episode.
So that he could, because he couldn't hear. Yeah. To me, I felt like that was the best scene, better than that. She go over there and they Netflix and chill. I mean, that to me felt like, okay, she really cares about this man. And she really wants to try to make sure he makes it home to his kids. Not so much let's go over here and bounce quarters off TVs and stuff.
You know what this could be, and it's not. But if Disney wanted to create a darker feel, this could be Logan, right? Like, you know how Logan ended up taking care of Professor Xavier. But, you know, but it ultimately ends with Logan dying, right? And then like the next generation proceeds. So obviously this is not the direction where they're going in, but you almost, because it's like they keep trying to humanize Hawkeye, right? Like now you're starting to see, okay, so now he's hearing impaired. You see the destruction of the hearing aid. You see him taking it out at night, having these flashbacks, right? Losing Black Widow. Like you're starting to see kind of like the PTSD that he's really suffering from. And you're almost thinking to myself, like, they're going to write him off. You know, like they're going to, somehow his character is going to get eliminated. And this is just a build-up toward that. That would be a predictable, but yet better to me pathway, because eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like eventually we know like you're going to shift, and that's why you're bringing all this in. How do you shift without losing Hawkeye, right? It's like they don't want to destroy the team. You've already lost RDJ, you know, Captain America, a theory, right? Up in the right.
No.
He's kind of displaced, right?
Captain America.
He's up in space with
right. Thor.
He's not dead. He's alive.
Yeah, Thor became a Men in Black. You know, like it was just a lot of just weird transitions. So now you're like, okay, we have this character. We know he's not. There's nothing spectacular about him. Right? He's a good guy that has a great heart, and he's a soldier's hero, right? And you know, how do we make this play out over the big screen? Well, we have to create this kind of tension between his character and his sidekick at all times, right? My hope for the next episode and I do agree with you. I like the dialogue. I like the introduction of the other one. I also like is it Helen? Who is Romanoff's sister?
Yelena.
Oh,
Yelena,
Elena.
yeah, Yelena.
Oh yeah,
Elena,
I was
yeah.
happy to see her. I'm like, thank
Yeah,
God.
my bad. I said Helen. I don't know why, but Yelena, I think that was the best part.
Yeah.
That unboxing of Yelena, because the reality is Yelena is what Katie's character should be. And I know that sounds weird, but it's like Yelena is a mastery of martial arts, totally just fighter, I mean, just you can get behind this character. It's like already has all the things that a superhero would technically have to have, I guess, without a bow, right? So that reveal to me saved episode 4.
It did. I agree. It saved episode 4 to me because I was just kind of getting a little bored with it. And then when the fighting happened and he didn't know who he was fighting because Maya was fighting Kate. And I was like, who is this person? And when Yelena was revealed, I'm like, thank God. We finally got a boost up in here. Because I love Yelena and Black Widow. Her chemistry with Scarlett O'Hara. I'm sorry.
Scarlett
Johansson. Too much gone with the wind. I know.
We're just making up names at this point.
I know. That's what we call our dad.
Ellen. We got
Sinead O'Connor. Yeah, we call our dad Ben O'Hara because he got so many things. So many. But yeah, but I mean, I loved her in Black Widow. So when she showed up, I was like, okay, now it's getting really interesting because finally Kate is getting ready to see, like, no, this isn't a game. This isn't I'm a state champion in archery mess. This is like superhero stuff is about to get real now that she showed up.
I don't think Kate thinks it's a game because she's trying to find out about it. Oh, go ahead, John.
No. Go on ahead. Okay. I know that you want to make some counterpoints and everything too.
Okay. I don't think Kate thinks this is a game because she's investigating her stepfather because I think she's known all along that he's because she witnessed the black auction, and so I don't think she thinks this is a game. I think she thinks it's pretty seriously. She's trying to find out, like she's trying to help her mom, which I don't know why you would help her, but she's trying to help her like not make this mistake. Which then again, I think she's realizing that her mom and stepdad they're bad. I think they're secretly evil people, and I think but I also like that Clint's wife, she knew about the big guy, so obviously Hawkeye's had some encounters with Fisk before. So obviously the fact all the information and then the idea is like they found out that the Avengers Tower stuff was stolen from it. So again, I'm interested in that aspect too. And then I like the little like this situation at the house because what would you rather see? Would you rather see more of the parents creepily dancing or more of the festive? I thought it was a humanized Clint. It shows that he's just like he cares for Kate and Kate really cares for him because she got him involved. She feels guilty because she made him not go back home with his family. So it's kind of like she's
Charlie, what I would have liked to see, I would have liked for Clint to be back home with his family while she run around New York trying to get clues. He on the phone telling her what to do, and then say, I'll be back in 48 hours because I got to be with my kids, but I'll be back. So I want something like that because him just sitting there with slushies on his arm, I'm just like, yeah.
I mean,
and they my favorite slushies too, and I'm like, what a freaking way, That's what I would like to see, and and I don't think she doesn't take it serious. It's just she's young, and she doesn't listen to Clint when she needs to listen to him because for all the good guy that Clint is a assassin.
Mm-hmm.
He is Ronin. He's an assassin. Of course, he don't had run-ins with this because he don't about kill the whole underworld. So, you know, he ain't nothing to play with. And when he says, "Okay, we need to do this," she want to go. We need to go right. She want to go left, but she don't have no experience to know. Now, when he tell you don't go left, don't go left. He know what he's talking about.
This could be where we go ahead and where essentially Kate takes over, but they don't kill off Hawkeye. So it's him and the wife are the ones that are going to be like probably telling her how to do this, or they become her handlers in a sense because they were doing spy stuff.
I'd rather see that than what I saw.
I think it's going to pick up. I mean, obviously the 5th episode is going to be a big one. Obviously, if the director wouldn't be saying, "Hey, this is going to blow up Twitter," which again, it's leading to hype. But I really believe the next episode is going to be a huge one because we got Yelena is involved with this now. We have the Widows, and I think we're going to get the Fisk reveal. I think because they keep mentioning him, the big guy. I had run-ins with the big guy, and we've seen him. We didn't see his face, but we saw a small glimpse of him in the 3rd episode. You see his body, like you see his legs, you saw his arms. They cut off his, you don't see his face, but you heard him laughing. It's Fisk, because that was the whole backstory of Maya, because he's practically her uncle in a sense. So they're building up. They keep mentioning him and him and him. So it's the next episode. Fisk is showing up.
Right.
Which I hope so.
Now,
him and Daredevil and the Punisher, can they all just roll up in there?
I think they're saving Daredevil for Spider-Man.
Here's a thing that I want to mention, though, too, real quick, too, with this as well, because John Bernthal also said this. He's not going to play the Punisher unless it's going to be that dark and gruesome Punisher that we knew from the Netflix series. He said if they're going to change the tone of the Punisher, he doesn't want to be involved in it. I do have a theory about Kingpin. I mentioned it on episode 3's review, but I'll get into that in a few minutes and everything. This will be like towards the end of the episode on what I think that the version of Kingpin that we're going to get, because I don't think we're going to get the version of the Netflix version, and I'll explain that in a minute as well. That's just me speculating. But this is what I want to talk about real quick. Now, I didn't care for the LARPers. I didn't want the LARPers to be back in here again. And then I don't want them to be wearing that stupid, god-awful purple suit. I think that would actually be stupid. I'm glad that they only teased it at the very first episode when she's drawing him a costume, and that was enough. Just a tip of the hat, and then we move on. You don't need to have the LARPers back
John.
Huh?
I said, where did the Harpers hurt? Like, where did the LARPers hurt you?
It's called the episode on episode 2.
No. I thought you had a run-in with LARPers, and you like, oh
no, I have no. Hey, I just want to let everybody know I don't have a problem with LARPers or anything like that. Just giving everybody who are LARPers, who are fans of this show, that I love all LARPers. It just happens to be on this show. It's cringeworthy. But anyways,
I ain't into that. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't into that.
But
I'd rather go shopping.
Now, the Rolex watch that Clint winds up wanting Kate to go into Maya's house to look for this. Now, this didn't work for me because we don't know who that Rolex belongs to. We don't know why Clint wants that Rolex or anything like that. I'm believing it might have been Tony's and he got it off the black market thing. That's just me speculating. Then there's also Kate going into the house, and there's a silent alarm, and she's talking back and forth to Clint and everything. Also, too, she winds up telling this old man, "Oh, there's an Avenger in my ear." She doesn't use the grappling thing or anything like that to grapple herself up to where the room is and everything. And that's just so Kate. That part worked for me in a way. And then the little bit of humor, that was okay, too. I laughed and chuckled whenever she said that she has an Avenger in her ear, and the old man just looks at her like she's crazy. But then you get into the apartment part. And then she uses that same gummy type of thing to shoot down the silent alarms. Clint goes, "What did you see?" He goes, "Oh, I see something flashing." And you would think that Clint would say, "Oh, those are silent alarms. You need to get your ass out of there." Instead, She just goes in there still. She doesn't know what she's looking for until Clint says, I'm looking for the watch. Then all of a sudden you have a killer list out of the blue of basically how old the kids are. It's like a death Christmas list to Clint, basically, of how old the kids are, how old the parents are, just on a notepad out in the open for people to see. If I was a villain, would I want someone to see that I have a kill list? No. That part did not work for me. And then Maya comes in, and I liked when Maya came in and we got some of that action and stuff like that. And then, of course, the reveal of, Yelena comes in. And I love that scene because of the fact when she's on the rooftop, she's kicking Clint's ass, and he's thinking it's Maya. He goes, well, hold up, you're fighting Maya? Then who am I fighting? Then all of a sudden the reveal comes. And here's another thing. I wouldn't mind if they did this, though, with this scene in particular, is have that at the safe house and they're fighting in the safe house. Therefore, you have this whole entire thing where they're fighting and being teamed up in a better situation versus, there's actually a side quest to go find a watch. It's like playing GTA. You're playing the main story, but hold up. What we're going to do is we're going to go on the side mission to look for a watch. And it slows down the show just a little bit until Maya and them come into the picture. That's just my perspective of it.
It feels like it's just a collection of side quests anyway. I mean, we side questing the Larkin, we side quest into the tracksuit people, we sidetracked into Play-Doh arrows, and we kind of sidetracked into now finding his watch. And I can see why her kill list is out, because it's her apartment. So she doesn't think anybody's going to break in there. So she has her kill list. I mean, during my divorce, I had lists too. And I had them out. But I'm
when you had them out.
I put those in the trash, but I totally understand that.
I gotcha. But it's like, I don't know if I should be on here now.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Conversation went a little long. You're good though. When Katie gets to the apartment, it's like obviously we knew, anybody that likes action movies, we knew what was gonna happen, right? There was gonna be a bomb or a mysterious, villain. So we were expecting that, right? We were expecting that. And it's like they tried to slow it down as much as possible. And it was weird because you saw the blinking lights and always like, it's a, blinking lights is probably recording your action, motion sensory or anything. And she takes the magical arrow, shoots the Nickelodeon blob and, thinks all is well. So it kind of throws you off because it's like, okay. And then the list is discovered. And with the list, you're reciting all this information back. And it's like, okay, so here's the point. Watch it real slow. It's like there's a delay, almost in it. And you can see it like in real time. And then the next thing you know, a punch is thrown and, she's flat. She's flat, right? Like she's tripped, not knocked out, but knocked down. And you get a sense of, maybe it wasn't the shooting, it's the editing. Like it's a real hard follow in this like minute and a half, right? Like it's supposed to like creep in slow and then bam, and then now we get all this, reveals and amazing action sequences, and we just didn't get it. And that's the reality is my problem. I really want to like Kate's character. I really want to like, Katie Bishop's character a lot. I really do. But it's Teen Titan, not in a good way though. I mean, like it really is. And it's like, but when you watch Teen Titan on HBO Max, you're like, this is a way better experience.
No.
They went all out, you see Robin and you see Nightwing, so it's like I'm disappointed because I keep giving you the chance to show that it's Marvel worthy. You know, and as a DC fan and somebody who's watched many films flop, this has a lot of that DC stench, right? Like it's just no matter how you see it, even when you get a good point, you get a good dialogue, you get Hawkeye with some good acting, right? Like that was a good scene. The next thing that follows totally just flattens it out. And I'm just not convinced, even with the next episode, that it's going to be so just alarming. The only way it could possibly break Twitter, the only way that it could possibly create this buzz is that you would have to enter Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? You would have to enter Thor. You have to go back to a tier 1 person and say tier 1 hero rescue, you know, everybody. So
bring back RJD.
Right. Bring back, you know, and for me, I don't know. I'm just not convinced.
You know, and it was odd. It was like when I was looking at it, I was thinking, can they unshackle this man? Maybe I need to see Mayor Watertown. I really want to see Jeremy Renner be just a bitch, you know, and all of this kind of, you know, I'm running, but I'm not, and I put slushies on myself, and I'm trying to. Sometimes
like
just unshackle him.
No, the thing with the slushies is like because they're like where he's in a location that probably you couldn't like go. Oh, I'm gonna go to the drugstore and buy ice because I'm trying not to be seen because everybody knows who I am. Like that's the thing he was putting he was trying to heal up his wounds again because he's done this a long time. So I think he's trying to improvise.
I know, I understand that. You know that's what he's trying to do, but this man is an assassin. When he came back, he killed everything and everybody rolling. And I'm sorry, but he's not warm and fuzzy. I don't even think the actor himself is warm and fuzzy. And that's why it's kind of coming off a little flat to me. And I'm like, just unleash Hawkeye. I mean, yeah, he got a family, but he a badass. And all of this kind of tripping around tracksuit people, I understand this in the comics, but you know, it really made me think I do need to see Mayor Watertown because I just want to see him rip. I mean, I want to see him just be a bitch.
I got a question, Charlie. So for the re-entry of the cosplay characters, why? Right, like I didn't understand. You know, I understand. Look, cosplay is amazing, and I get it, but I don't understand. It was like revisiting a joke that because it was funny the first time, you tried to say it again, and it didn't land. Right, so now you bring back in the cosplay. You know, walk in the park. We're gonna rescue the arrows. Was that necessary?
I don't think it was. Again, I'm like, there's not much like there's stuff I liked from this episode. I think that as a whole, I liked it better than the second episode. But I mean, this show, like, I don't know what to think. Like, because I mean, we've had. Well, I was surprised by WandaVision. That started out quirky and then it got better. I mean, I enjoyed Falcon Winter Soldier. Didn't like how it ended. Like that. Loki, I liked the first 2 episodes, and the show just went flat. Like it went flat, like on an EKG meter. Like, It had moments, but I don't know. I just
you didn't like that.
I mean, I liked Owen Wilson, but I didn't like the girl or whatever, like, or Lady Loki. I just thought she was full of herself. Like she's like it was all about her, and then like that again. I don't know. It's just the shows have been very hit and miss, more misses than hits this year. I mean, Falcon Winter Soldier was great, but I think they're trying not to go dark with this a little bit. I think we're going to get darker soon. I mean, you can show violence. Like, you showed Rent-A-Cop Captain America behead a guy with
right
shield, and that was full on blood. Like, again, different shows and stuff, but still, it's just I don't know. But the thing is, I think we're underestimating the Watch. I think there's a lot more significance with it because it was stolen from Avengers Tower. So there might be more stuff because that's what Clint's wife was telling him this I think this did everything get sold from I think they said Avengers Tower might have gotten sold, but I think it might have been stolen. So there's something with that watch. Like there could be spy stuff in that watch, or there could be a lot from that watch we don't know. So it might seem like a side quest. I don't think it does. I think there's obviously something important with that watch, that Maya had it, Fisk had it in a sense, or Jack or Wario had. So I think there's a lot more significance.
Well, I think it's some Stark tech probably in there somewhere.
Yeah, so I think
it's important. I'm not saying they shouldn't have found it. It just felt like a side quest. Vernon said, it was something about her being in their apartment. It felt like time stopped, or
it just felt like it was misplaced a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like it didn't splice right, and it was clear they was setting something up, and it just felt weird. That's why it felt like a side quest to me. Okay,
you know what it is? Before we go on, you know what it is? Perfect analogy. Remember Jim Carrey playing the Riddler, and at the end, he was flapping his wings like a bat.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. It was like, what does this have to do with anything? But it was so dramatic that you just can't get it out your head. And I love Jim Carrey personally, but very underrated comedian. Yeah. But that movie was not good, and that scene was not good. So that's what it is. It doesn't fit. Like, I can't even draw the connection. There's no. Idris Elba isn't standing on the other end of the galaxy connecting this. This is just a bad.
I think it was just a.
It's like me who has ADD and directing an episode.
Yeah, it was something in the editing that wasn't right with that. Yes, and I love Jim Carrey too. I love him.
Could be worse.
But I agree with Vernon on that
Jim
scene.
Carrey to flap his arms in Hawkeye to wake me up.
Right? But there's actually another thing I want to mention, and then we'll get into my little theory too. Now, when we see her glide across the building with that, it had a Home Alone kind of feel to it, where you have Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. They're stuck on there, and she's trying to move it. I thought Kate. I could have sworn. I thought that they would actually cut the line to make her go down there. Then, of course, that's when we wind up seeing Scarlett Johansson's sister, which is Natasha's sister, roundhouse somebody, and then all of a sudden she goes gliding back. Yeah, Yelena. And all of a sudden we wind up seeing Kate glide down into the building, and they're fighting. She gets knocked off the building. Then she goes back up the elevator. It's like a cat and mouse game, back and forth. And then finally, all of a sudden, Yelena just goes on ahead, disappears. And it's like all of a sudden the fight is over with. It's like, Yelena's gone. Then we also have Echo. She's gone. And then it's just Clint. And then we have Kate, and now they're bickering back and forth again. Oh, I'm not your partner anymore. You're not my partner. You're not my friend. You're not nothing. I'm like, here we go again. Do we really have to keep doing this every single time we have another episode? I'm like, either shit or get off the pot kind of thing. Because I'm tired of hearing, oh, I'm not your partner anymore. That reminds me of going to a 10th grade birthday party. You're not my friend anymore. You're not going to be invited. No. This is so freaking stupid. If you guys are going to be partners, be partners. If you're not, move on with your lives. Go back to your family. Go back and do what you're doing, Kate, which is destroying clock towers, because that's what you're good at. I'm tired of seeing the bickering back and forth.
Kate can't go back to her normal life because, again,
she can
her
go
uncle,
back
her uncle killed somebody. Her uncle's corrupt. And the mom's just as guilty in this too. Like she doesn't have a normal life. She saw her house got destroyed by the Shatari. Come on,
which was her
fault. Yeah. Like she saw like her dad died in New York during the Shatari invasion. Yeah. Like give the kid a break. Like she's trying to do. Like she's trying to figure this out, and she needed like
But
because nobody else
it's not so
believed
much
her.
as that. It's just the fact. It's not so much as that, man. It's just the fact that the bickering between Clint and her is in every single episode. I care about Kate. I care about the motivation of Kate. But it's like, either you're going to put these characters together and be a partner, or you're not. That's what I'm getting at.
It's not good.
That's the frustrating part.
Yeah, because I mean, we've seen shows and movies where the people bicker and it's funny because they got chemistry. Whatever the chemistry between Jeremy Renner and Haley Stanfield is not bickering. That whatever they wrote, that's not their chemistry. Those two actors don't do bickering well, so it doesn't come off on screen well. But what does come off on screen well is when she is really trying to help him and then trying to learn. That comes off well. So I think that's like bad writing because I was with you, John. I'm like, what really? Like this stupid, like, oh, I'm not gonna be your friend, and it's just got real Black Widow here, and I'm just like, well, she your assistant. This the main time to go get her because you ain't gonna handle her by yourself. She mad. That girl mad. She gonna beat your behind.
Bucky and Falcon bickered the whole show during Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but they have
that's a buddy cop type of vibe. That's totally
Right.
different.
Not really.
Yeah, they
worked together before.
Right. And no, I won't say that. But Bucky and Falcon, that was just it worked. Like for some time, it just works. They were an unlikely pair that really paired well. Like it just worked on screen. It works. Their chemistry, their dialogue, and the other thing is, this is why I think it worked. Let's be honest, Buckeye pre that release was more known or more liked than Falcon, right? Like, because Falcon's kind of like in Kate's position, right? Like kind of like a junior, kind of like the intern level. It was like Captain America's assistant on the team, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Like on the team, but and then afterward they became equally as liked or valued on the hero tier system, right? So where there's no, because first of all it's further down. It's just not pairing. It's not. That's it. That's the gap. So it is what it is.
I think there's. I want to say Falcon was an intern to Cap. I think the two of them were like they hit it off really well. Like they like in the very first one about on your left. That's what kind of started the friendship. And he was saying, I'm like, it's like, getting them ideas to Captain America to what to do and all that stuff. And then, I think they were more of a friendship, and then they became partners in a sense. So I think it was more like that. With this one, I don't know. I mean, I think they're trying to become trying to start a chemistry. Then again, I don't know. I mean, this chemistry is just as bad as the chemistry between Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling in Notebook. KIA, or non-existent at all. The two of them, that was more of a toxic relationship that shouldn't even happened. But this one,
you hating on the Notebook? Are you hating on the Notebook, Charlie?
Oh no, I've been hating on the Notebook since I had to watch it. That was terrible.
Well, that's because you need to watch Hallmark with me.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't need to see anymore. I know the story of the Hallmark. It's pretty easy.
That's why I watch.
Blonde-haired girl falls in love with a guy that's going to break up with
my
her.
job.
That's going to be a first off. I know what happens too. You're going to have a douchebag boyfriend. The girl's going to be blonde hair.
That's right.
And then after that happens, you know what else happens? Guess what? She goes into the small town that she hasn't seen anybody in 12 years.
That's
and then
right.
After that happens, the idiotic douchebag ballbag boyfriend will go in ahead and say something stupid to cheat, so make the girl cheat on the boyfriend with this other guy who she hasn't seen in 12 years.
Yeah.
They fall in love after a course of 2 hours, which is a course of 3 days in the movie. And they live happily ever after. They have some children, and then that's the end of the Hallmark movie.
And then I'm on to the next one. That's right.
True. That's better writing than Hawkeye.
Thank you. Right? They need to go get
I'm
that.
dead.
That's what I'm talking about, man. At least the plot understandable.
Right, we get the plot. We
But,
know how all Hallmark movies end. We just waiting. Like, all right,
Yeah,
here comes
exactly. I'm
the
just waiting
small
to
town
see.
trip.
right,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, what flavor the actor gonna give me? He gonna give me a
But-
little spice. He gonna give me a little sass. He gonna give me a little shy. What he gonna give me?
Right, exactly. You know what you're getting. You know what you're getting paid, getting your money's worth.
Yes.
But okay, so is there anything else that you wanted to add, Charlie, or anything like that?
No, I think I mentioned I believe the mom's truly in on this. I really think she's not letting on more than she can tell, like because of that phone call. I think she's working with Val, and because that's how Yelena showed up. I really think the mom. Again, I knew the mom was bad just right from the casting choice because she always plays horrible moms. So I think that, and I think the watch there's a lot of significance with the watch, and I think the next episode I won't be able to react to that because I'm probably going to be I'll be out and maybe probably seen Spider-Man, so I won't be able to react to the 5th episode. But hearing the director say that it's going to blow up Twitter, you won't be saying that normally. Like obviously, there's going to be a big reveal. It's probably going to be Fisk. I don't see it being Daredevil because I think they're saving that for Spider-Man, but. I think it's gonna be the Fisk reveal, and then we're gonna see more Yelena. And I think by the end of this show, I think Yelena's not gonna kill Hawkeye. I think Clint will be able to tell Yelena what really happened and how her sister sacrificed herself in order to save the world. So,
yep.
Okay.
Well, Charlie,
So
I agree with
let's
you.
go to my theory.
Oh, go ahead.
No, Ladassia. No. Go on ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I agree with you, Charlie. I think that at the end of all this, he's gonna tell Yelena what really happened with Black Widow. And that watch does have a lot of significance. My only hope, and it's just my hope, is that those Marvel heroes from Netflix come up in here. I mean, just to add some juice, some spice. I mean, you're in New York City and it's a little too nice. I mean, it needs to get a little grimy for me.
what turned into the DC universe?
Bring back Luke Cage.
Yeah, I'm saying Luke Cage doing City Confidential. We need to get him back being Luke Cage, man. Bring back Luke Cage. Bring back Punisher. Bring back Jessica. What's her name?
Jessica Jones.
Bring back the whole crew up in here, and really give Kate a real education on what she gonna have to do in New York City. Not all this tracksuits, toys, stores, this mess.
Right. So just going off of my theory about this. Now, I said this in episode 3, but I want to get your thoughts on it. Charlie already knows where I'm going with it. But the blimp, right? What I'm thinking is this is not going to be the same version that we saw of Fisk and everything in Netflix. I'm thinking that we're going to have an MCU version of Fisk where during the blimp, he winds up rising to power. He's the Kingpin. I believe we're actually going to get a Kingpin that's already been face-to-face with Daredevil already, who already has a history. Because don't forget, we only seen a small glimpse of stuff that happened with in-game and stuff like that. So we don't know what were the events that happened during that time and everything too. So what I'm thinking is, during this time, Fisk has plenty of time to rise to power because there's no one to stop him. There's no other villains there. He has plenty of time to organize an underground black market, for example. He has enough time to formulate other organizations within the underground world where he is the Kingpin. So I'm thinking we're going to get a seasoned Kingpin that's already been in this MCU world, that's already been face to face with Daredevil. He knows who Daredevil is, and also too, I think he has a rise to power. That's just my thought. That's just my speculation on it. And if they do it that way, I'm totally fine with it. Also, too, Charlie didn't see this in episode 3, but I did. Whenever the violence and everything, where we wind up seeing Clint stab somebody and the blade goes through someone, We've seen that in episode 3. There's no blood splatter. So therefore you can actually have the violence without the blood splatter. Also, too, remember on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Charlie mentioned this with the shield and everything too. With the
violent,
so you
and
can still have that violent context and everything too. So that's just my thoughts on it. I could be wrong. It's not going to be the first time I'm wrong about anything in my whole entire adult life. But, you know, that's just my philosophy on it. And then, you know, I'm thinking that it's Vincent D'Onofrio, of course. You know, he was destined. He was born to play that role. So that's just my 2 cents on it. What do you guys think? Would you guys like to see that?
Vernon.
My bad, I couldn't get my thing on mute. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that prediction of Kingpin, it fits. If that's the path that, you know, the episode goes down, I think that's more than appropriate. It should probably happen that way. Will it? It's debatable because, you know, nobody knows. Marvel is kind of hard to figure out sometimes, but I really think okay, perfect example. James Cameron said something 5 years ago, and people took it like, oh, he's hating on, you know, Marvel and Disney and Kevin Feige and just everybody. That he said, I like superhero movies, but there's more stories than that, right? And I think what's happening is writer's block. Like, you know, you're trying to create something, and because it was so successful in the past, and because you have enough, you know, like with the comic books and everything, you can kind of feed into it. You keep throwing this out there. But I think every good thing has an ending point at some time, right? And I personally think, and this is all because remember I was on your show last time, I said I think Spider-Man might be a flop, you know, and Charlie was like, and Charlie put up, he's like, we should just readjust our expectations. If Spider-Man doesn't hit, right? Like if it doesn't give you that Captain America, the first Captain America, if it doesn't hit, after all this, you kind of have to say, maybe it's time to move on, right? Like it's just, I've been saying it like maybe just for this, and this is my personal feel, because everything is contingent. And granted, I know the new phase is about to roll out. I'm super excited about, you know, the new phase of Marvel. I'm super excited about what they're doing. I'm really excited about what they're going to release. I'm going to go see Spider-Man, but it has to hit. You can't keep throwing it out there, because you'll do what DC did. I mean, you're better. There's no doubt about it. You're 1,000 times better. But DC, you know, real human being movies are pretty bad. And this new Batman might be pretty bad too. So, you know.
I've been saying that from the get-go. It looks terrible. Then that's me. And then everybody's getting up and me. He's like, no, you just don't understand. It's like, but I think that, and what's the interesting thing, like Christian Harloff, and I sent John the link too, it was comparing the two movies that are coming out. You got The Matrix.
I actually listened to it too.
Yeah, you got The Matrix, and they're talking about that and Spider-Man. They said Spider-Man's got to be perfect. It's got to nail everything. And he's even like Christian Harloff. I mean, what I've said, this movie's the most hyped movie I've ever heard. It's so hyped. It's like everybody's expectations for this is like right where my ceiling fan is. It's gonna cut your hand off. So it's got to nail everything. And then the movie is almost 2.5 hours. So there's gonna be a lot involved. Yeah, it's a long one. It's got to hit everything. And then you have a movie like, and it's gonna do. It's not gonna, in terms of flop, it's gonna do well box office wise, quality wise. If it doesn't hit, like if you get like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it for like a second, instant like attacking, it's gonna be bad, and that's what might hurt it, and that's the thing. And then they have a movie like I said, personally, I'm more hyped for the new Matrix movie than I am the new Spider-Man.
I really am.
Like I'm like and it's kind of like going under the radar. Nobody's expecting it because the third movie was a downer, and I'll admit, I'm a huge Matrix fan. That third movie was a downer,
That was
but
horrible.
it's sneaking under the radar.
Mhm.
And I think it's gonna do really well. Like the clips I've watched, like they had. I mean, just when you got Neo and Trinity back in this movie,
Right?
and then the
They
fact
got
that,
me then. I was like, okay.
and then the second trailer that was just released for it, I'm like,
Hmm.
what? Like, yeah, I'm in. I'm all in. But
Yeah.
again, Spider-Man's got it. That's the problem with the Spider-Man. When you have a movie when you have so much hype, if it doesn't nail everything, like dots the I's and crosses the T's, the expectation is it's going to be the rewatchability. Like, are you willing to go back to the theaters to see Spider-Man once you see everything? And that's the problem. If you have something that's in it and it works, that's how you get people back. I mean, I don't know. Spider-Man's so hyped. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets good. It gets decent reviews. I think it gets better reviews than the Eternals.
Oof.
But how far it goes from up from there, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know. I mean, in fact, the Shang-Chi was under my radar. Like, I was not expecting it to be that good, and that was great.
Yeah, it was.
This one, Spider-Man, I'm looking forward to it. I have a gut feeling that this one's not going to exceed anybody's expectations, and everybody's going to come out really disappointed with it, and that's going to be a problem, and that would be a big MCU problem.
Well, and for me, that's why I like the Marvel on Netflix people, and I really feel like they need to integrate them on the TV level, because you got all this hype on the Spider-Man level and the new phase and all that. Down here on this TV level, if Disney's gonna play in this land, especially in New York City, you got to bring that grit in there. And those were interesting stories. They were different, they were wild. Some of it was like, I can't even believe that, but they were interesting. And Hawkeye, the problem is Hawkeye alone isn't interesting. Kate Bishop alone, she's not interesting. And so you always got to have something to, you got to bring in Fizz. You got to bring in something to stir them up, because together they just don't have chemistry. And, if they want to just kind of settle this TV show part, they need to bring the Netflix characters in, and they're going to have to get a little bit gritty about it, especially with all this hype up here about Spider-Man. If you can nail these TV shows down, you can give yourself time to, if you got to fix it, fix it. You can give yourself time if you can get the TV shows right.
Right. All right. So with that being said, I think that's going to be it for the show and everything. I do appreciate Vernon taking the time out of his night to talk about this episode, man. I know it was a little disappointing, but we got through it. But where can everybody follow you at if they want to go ahead and follow you and all that other good stuff?
Cool, man. I appreciate it. First of all, I'm on the best movie, TV, film, media review show, YouTube channel, podcast there is at Movie Lovers, TV Lovers Unite. Y'all follow John's channel. He's doing an amazing thing. It's super excited to be back with John and Charlie. Just amazing hosts today. It's just always great being with you. Connect with your boy at CVMK33 on Instagram and the business page at CVMK_global. The website is out. Buy your pre-workout, your vegan protein, your branched chain amino acid, your men hormonal support. Women, I got your hormonal support. I got Glow Up out there. CVMKglobal.store. That is CVMKglobal.store. We're all amazing products for fitness, your supplements, your apparel are sold. I appreciate this. Thanks, man.
All right. So thank you, Ladasha. I do appreciate you as well for being on the show as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, geeking out, talking about stuff. We're gonna have to get together and do a Yellowstone review soon.
Yes, we do. We do.
And
we got to see Mayors.
With that being said, guys, yes, because I need to actually binge it. I haven't gotten a chance to check it out because there's just so much stuff that I want to get through first. But
Paramount Plus.
Yep. But anyways, with that being said, guys, go on ahead and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit that little button on the bottom right-hand corner to allow you guys to know that we have some new content coming out and stuff like that. You can smash that bell on the right-hand corner. That would be great. Also, too, if you guys want to, go ahead and follow me underneath Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite on Facebook. Underneath the same brand name, of course, on Instagram and on Pinterest as well. If you want to donate to the page, you guys don't have to. Just go on ahead and go to GoFundMe.com/Movie Lovers Podcast. That's how you can donate $5 to $10 over here. Like I said, smash that like button, smash that share button. Goes a long way over here at Movie Lovers Unite. Also, too, go on ahead and follow me underneath Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter. And then, of course, Movie Lover Unit 0 on TikTok as well. And then, of course, if you're a sponsor would like to be on the show, just go on ahead and reach out to me at movieloversunite@gmail.com. Also, too, rate us on Good Pods. It's like social media for us as content creators and stuff like that. If you love listening to podcasts, or if you're a podcaster yourself, go on ahead, rate us on Good Pods. Give us a 5-star review if you choose to do so. And of course, always until next time, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. I can't wait to do this again. And bye-bye.